Hello, on this video, my partner and I would love to share our knowledge about assessing young learners. You may watch till the end so that you will get some knowledge about this video. First, we may take a look to young learners definition. So basically, young learners is a term that is used to refer to children from their first year of formal schooling, usually somewhere between 5 to 7 years old, to when they are 11 to 12 years old, or to when they move on from primary to secondary school. What is assessment? Actually, it refers to collecting information and making judgments on a learner's knowledge based on Brindley and Lin's 2005. Also, refers to the process of data analysis that teachers use to get evidence about their learners' performance and progress in learning. So, in my opinion, assessment itself is the systematic basis for making inferences about the learning and development of students. It is the process of defining, selecting, designing, collecting, analyzing, interpreting, and using information to increase students' learning and development. I think assessment is quite important because assessment is a way of supporting learning, especially for young learners who want to learn about second language. It helps teachers, learners, parents, and others to understand the depth and breadth of learning undertaken so that progress and next steps can be discussed and planned. Okay, next, we may move to the slide 3, purposes of assessment. On this case, there are several purposes of assessment. First, to monitor and aid children's progress. The development monitoring process focuses on following children's progress over time to see whether they are reaching typical milestones in play, learning, speaking, and behaving. Monitoring children's development involves observing how they grow and change over time. Second, to provide children with evidence of their progress and enhance motivation. One of the most common ways teachers motivate their students to provide children with evidence of their progress, such as provide specific praise to students for little things and big things. The third purpose is to monitor students' performance and plan future work. In a study on monitoring student learning in the classroom, monitoring was defined as activities pursued by teachers to keep track on students' learning for purposes of making instructional decisions and providing feedback to students on their progress. The last one is the purpose of assessment, to provide information for parents, college, and school authorities. Assessment needed so that students' parents would receive information from the school about their children's development. What do we assess? In learning second language for young learners, teachers need to assess some aspects such as skill development like listening, speaking, reading, writing, and integrated skills. Teachers need to assess student skills in listening by asking them some questions in second language and pay attention to them. Are they understand what teacher said or not? I think this might train them to listen. In speaking, teachers may to ask them to speaking or ask them to mention their favorite food, color, their name, favorite pet, and age. In reading, teachers will be able to ask them reading some simple story to train their pronunciation. In writing, students may to write simple phrases. In the class, teachers need to assess young learners' attitudes. Attitudes is one of those important aspects that teachers need to assess. Besides that, behavioral and social skills is needed to be assessed by teachers. Social skills is also important. To socialize with others and build relations with friends, we need social skills. So, social skills needed to be built when students in young age. Assessing young language learners. Traditional methods problematic because traditional paper and pencil tests like filling in gaps in sentences, answering multiple choice questions, or translating vocabulary lists often do not work because such isolated exercises do not show what children know and can do confidence, the negative feedback effect of the test. It will discourage children and cause them to lose their motivation to learn English. In my opinion, traditional methods is not that efficient because young learners is such a young age might get easily bored and these methods can cause them to lose their motivation to learn English. Instead of using traditional methods, I think it will be better if we assess young learners using oral tests. This might make young learners more creative in thinking, in other words, critical thinking. And also, oral tests make young learners more fast in speaking. How do we assess children? Okay, there are several ways to assess young children in learning second language. First, portfolio assessment. A portfolio assessment is a systematic and organized collection of evidence used by the teacher and student to monitor the growth of the student's knowledge, skills, and attitudes in a specific subject area. For example, collections of students' essays, daily drawings, photographs, writing samples, audio tapes, video recordings, and other materials that provide visual and auditory documentation of a child's strength. Second, we have structured assessment activities or tasks. An assessment task is a tool, device, or constructed situation that creates the opportunity for learners to demonstrate or display the nature and depth of their learning. Effective teachers design assessment tasks that require students to demonstrate knowledge and skills at students' levels. The third, projects. Teachers can design projects to assess young learners such as games, songs, chants, rhymes for topics, stories or storytelling, arts, crafts, display, exploring the world, thinking-based activities, and the last one is pronunciation. Next, we have self-assessment. Self-assessment itself is a way to learn more about students, what they like, what they don't like, and how they tend to react to certain situations. The next one, we have peer assessment. The purpose of peer assessment is to help students understand their own work and how they can improve through giving and receiving feedback. For example, for a child studying a peer evaluation is to give their partner a comment about something they did well. And then we have traditional tests. Traditional assessment are tests taken with paper and pencil that are usually true or false, matching, or multiple choice. These assessments are easy to grade but only test isolated application, facts, or memorized data at lower two-level thinking skills. For example, quizzes, reports, essays, and multiple choice questions and unit tests. And then we have take-home task. Take-home activity or task usually may be worked on without supervision outside the classroom. And then the last one, we have observing. Actually, teachers also can assess young learners, in other words, observate. To watch carefully, especially with attention to details or behavior for the purpose of arriving at a judgment. Okay, these are assessment techniques. There are 4 assessment techniques that teachers need to know. First, observation, self-assessment, portfolio, and project work. And then we have observation. Observation is non-intuitive because children are often not even aware that they are being assessed. For example, working in pairs or group and independently. For an early childhood educator, Observing a child begins by noting how each child's behavior learns, reacts to new situations, and interacts with others. An educator then takes this information and creates activities to promote growth in skills, document the success of those skills, and then reflect and assess. On the other hand, child observation is the method of watching, listening, asking questions, documenting, and analyzing the observed words and actions of children as they interact with their surroundings and other people. Some well-known methods include anecdotal observation, running reports, time sampling, sociograms, and the last one is checklist. Well, this is just an example from the student oral assessment. Self-assessment. Self-assessment means that children are asked to think about their own performances and achievements on a regular basis. Self-assessment works best if it is restricted to certain well-known tasks and situations. Well, self-assessment helps learners build understanding of their strengths and weaknesses.
The next slide is portfolios. Portfolios means a collection of a student's work and evidence of students' achievement over a period of time. It can include drawing, pieces of writing, an example of crafts, or even taped oral performance. So, portfolio assessment asks for students and or teacher to collect work products that show growth over a specific period of time. There are two main types of portfolios assessments: instructional or working, and showcase portfolios. Instructional or working portfolios are formative in nature. This slide is an example from the slide 11 about portfolio. The next is project work. Project work is an opportunity for children to demonstrate their skills, especially non-linguistic skills such as drawing and acting. The advantage of this assessment tool is that it combines student skills, especially their language skill, and the joint effort of several children, while the disadvantage that is very difficult to assign grades to project work because of the need to acknowledge both individually work and group effort, and it is virtually impossible to be. So, a project work is planned and definitely formulated piece of study involving a task or problem taken up by the learner, either individually or in a group, to supplement and apply classroom and laboratory transactions. This slide is for parts in learning English about listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So, listening is comprehension, reading, fluency and spelling, writing, vocabulary and grammar, speaking, pronunciation, intonation, fluency, and accuracy. We move to the next slide. Assessment activities in listening. Listen and discriminate between sound. Listen and point to things and follow instruction. Listening and select the appropriate pictures. Listening to a description and draw color a picture. Listen and match to picture a word and a picture. The next assessment activities in speaking. In listening and repeat words that rhyme, have to the same opposite meanings. Listen and repeat only things which are true. Sing a song, say rhyme and poem memory. Speak from picture prompts. Assessment activities in reading. So, do simple reading games, a word level like odd one out. Read a rhyme, poem, part of dialogue aloud. Read vocabulary items and group them into families. Read a description and color. Draw a picture. Read and answer multiple choice, true, false, or comprehension questions. Assessment activities in writing. Rearrange and copy letters to spell a word. Read a description and write labels, caption for pictures. Complete a crossword, filling in gaps in sentence to test grammar or vocabulary. Write speech bubbles for characters from a story and dialogue. Correct mistake in a sentence or text. And the last slide is the assessing games and songs. Are the children involved in the activity clear to understand and use? Does the activity keep the children's interest until the end? Are the children learning? Do the children practice English enough? Can the activities be integrated in supplemental course? Are the children activity? How much initiative and do the children have? Can the children do the activity without too much explanation from us? That's all from us and thank you. Keep watching.